Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of BG's plumbing class, also known as Plumb at Right Academy. And today's lesson is going to be on properly piping plumbing parallel offsets, or something similar to that effect. But before we get into that, I would like to mention to you that Plumb at Right Academy is now online, and anybody who is searching to extend their knowledge base on plumbing codes, please visit the Plummet Right Academy website at plummetrightacademy.com. And you could either contact me right there where it says contact us right here, or you could always just straight up enroll right here for up-to-date plumbing code training. And classes are $350. Um, I'd rather you just contact me direct and we can talk about what you want and what you need before you go ahead and commit. But the whole process is to help you advance your knowledge. And if you do need to take your journeyman's exam, I'm here to help. Now, with that being said, let's talk about some offsets. So, first things first, let's look at all this stuff up here. All of those formulas. The first formula that most people know and understand is the A times 1.414, which gives you A here, right? See, A. Just transferring it up somewhere it's a little easier to understand where it's at. And that will give you, when you multiply it by 1.44, it'll give you that center to center measurement of C. Okay. So knowing that makes it a lot easier, makes your offsets look beautiful. Everything's nice and plumb. This pipe and this pipe, they're not crooked, they're straight up and down, plumb, and it's the way it's supposed to be. Mathematically, it's perfect. Instead of eyeballing it and just taking a tape measure and running it, you're now doing exactly what you need to the 16th. So, what if we want to run multiple pipes in parallel? And how are we going to make that look uniform? How are we going to make it look good? How are we going to make it look professional? These formulas will get you what you need. So let's go ahead and start with a basic offset. Let's say this is all 2-inch PVC. Okay. And we are going to be looking for, first off, the travel, which is this right here. That's our travel. Let's say our offset, which is A or B. Okay, so the offset is A, the run is B, but A equals B. So whichever measurement you come up with, center to center, that's going to be the offset number we use. Let's say for the sake of argument that our offset in this one is 3 feet 6 inches. If you have a construction-based calculator, you just punch in 3 foot 6 times 1.44 and you get an answer. If you don't, and you're like me, and I prefer to do all my math on paper and everything, you take 3 feet, which is 36 plus 6, and that equals 42, and you're going to multiply that by 1.414. That's going to give you 8, 2, 8, 2, and then 4 times 4 is 16. Carry the 1. 4 is 5, 6, 5, 8, because we're going to add all this up. 8, 13, 9, and 5. How many decimals do we have? 3. So I have 59.388 inches. That's my travel. What is the 0.388? It is 3/8 of an inch, but if you didn't know that, you can take 0.388, multiply it to the nearest eighth of an inch. So you're going to multiply it by 8. And that's 8 times 8 is 64. Carry the 6. That is 8 times 8, 64 plus 6 is 70. Carry the 7. 3 times 8, 24 plus 7 is 31. So you got 3. 3 out of what? 3 out of 8. So 59 and 3/8 inches is the same as saying 4 foot 11 and 3/8. So that's my travel run center to center for an offset that is 3 feet 6 inches. So we'll punch in here A, 3 feet 6 inches, right? We'll put in C over here, 4 foot 11 and 3/8. And we'll erase all this other stuff because we're going to need the room, at least to demonstrate what we're doing here. We'll we'll move the 2-inch PVC up here. 2-inch PVC. And this is a 2-inch PVC. We'll call it drainage. Okay. So I have a center to center travel of 4 foot 11 and 3/8. I have an offset of 3 foot 6. I have a run of, hold up. I have a run of 3 foot 6. Might as well keep all the colors uniform, right? So now I need to know what the distance is here and here in order to maintain. So these E's and E sub 1, that's your center mark on your fittings. The best way to do that is take your center points right there. You have to take the distance, and we'll use this measurement here. You have to take the distance center to center between your piping. And you multiply that by 0.414, and that moves your center point up the distance it needs to in order to maintain a parallel distance between to make it look uniform. Okay? So let's say D is equal to 6 inches center to center. So you have 2-inch pipe, each 6 inches off center between each other. And that multiplied by 0.414, okay, 0.414 times 6. That's 6 times 4 is 24. Carry the 2, 8, and then 24 again. 2.484, which is 2 inches. Sorry, not 2 inches, 2.5 inches. Therefore, E, and let's go ahead and get rid of this, and put E. E is what? 2.5 inches on each one. Okay. Now, knowing that, if I had my pipe sticking out of the ground from down here, and let's say above finished floor let's use a different color. Let's do a nice purple. End of my pipe right here on that one, we'll say is 10 feet. above finished floor. That would mean this one, that next pipe over, is going to be 10 foot 2.5 above finished floor. And then this one is going to be 10 foot 5 above finished floor. So here we have three different measurements, three different pipes. They're all cut, ready to go. We want a cut piece since we're here, since we already have it, since we're doing 2-inch PVC, the DWV. I happen to remember what the center to back of hub measurement is, or fitting makeup for a 2-inch 45, that's 1.5 inches. So if I'm going to subtract 1.5 inches from that side and 1.5 inches from this side, that's 3 inches. I'm going to take 3 inches away from 411 3/8. Eleven minus 3 is 8, and that's 4 feet. So my end to end measurement is 4 8 3/8. The other thing you can do, I mean, if you really want to, you've got all these measurements: 10 feet above finished floor, 10 foot 2.5 above finished floor, 10 foot 5 above finished floor. Each one of these cut pieces here is 4 foot 8 3/8. I can even tell you where this measurement is, this one, and this one. Those three measurements, I can tell you where those are at. Our offset is 3 foot 6. So let's start here. So we have 10 foot 6, or I'm sorry, 10 feet above finished floor here. We're going to add 1.5 inches for the fitting makeup, which takes me to this point. I'm moving upwards. Okay. My offset is 3 feet 6 inches, which means I'm going to go up 3 feet 6 inches as well. So I'm going to add another 3 foot 6 to get me up to this point. And then I'm going to add another 1.5 inches to take me up to this point. So I'm going from 10 feet up 1.5 inches, up 3 foot 6, and up another 1.5 inches. And that will put me at what? 10 foot 3, no, 13 feet. God darn, man. I cannot believe I did my math that way. That is awful. 10 feet plus 3 feet is 13 feet. 6 plus 1.5 plus 1.5, that's 9 inches. So at this point right here, in the corner here, that is 13.9 above finished floor, which means this one, add 2.5 to that, right? Because we're adding 2.5 for everything. That is going to be 1311.5. And then this one is going to be 14 feet. Let's move it over here so we can read it. 14 feet, that's 14 foot 2 above finished floor. So there's that one. There's this one. There's that one. There's this, and this. In short, in about 5 minutes time, I calculated everything I needed, every cut I needed to do 3 parallel drainage lines coming down on the face of a wall in order to keep them parallel, in order to keep them uniform, and to keep them plumb. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Don't forget, let's go ahead and bump this up thick. Don't forget to like and subscribe. There should be a little copper watermark down there in the bottom right screen. Please like and subscribe, as I said, and I hope to see you all on the next one. Till then, remember, plumb it right, do it well, and you'll be a really good professional plumber.